Hi everyone, hope you all are doing well. So I hope you all enjoyed the last session, which was on marketing. So this time we are going to discuss about digital marketing. And so yeah, let's get going without further delay, right? Okay. So in terms of definition, what is digital marketing? Now, digital marketing is using digital channels such as websites and social media as tools for marketing communication, right? Now, before really going more into digital marketing, it's very important to know about the evolution of digital marketing and its impact on our daily lives, because digital marketing has become such a big force, in today's day and age, right? So today, if you really ask, then we are in a world where we have got 4 billion people using social media daily. Can you beat that? Yes. And also with the internet data being so low, so we have got a digital consumption that is at an all-time high, right? Digital media consumption that is at an all-time high, with with 145 minutes per day of social media usage daily. I'm talking about daily, worldwide. So obviously, digital marketing is getting stronger and stronger every day because of all these factors. And also giving due respect to traditional media, I think I'll have to say that in years to come, or maybe in a decade or in a few decades time, digital marketing is going to take over completely, And why? We'll of course discuss it in some time to come from now. And so digital, digital media was first used in the 1990s, so to say, as a term, because it's, and also, it's in the year 1993 where we had the first clickable banner that came into the scene, right? And then in 1994, a very important event happened when Yahoo was launched, and following that, in the year 1998, we had Google, who came into the scene as well. Following that, we also had Microsoft MSN search engine, which came into existence. And then in terms of social media, if you ask, then MySpace was arguably the first social media platform that came into existence. Of course, a lot of people might debate on that because because few claim that a few other social media platforms actually came before MySpace. Then following that, of course, Facebook came in, and we all have a Facebook account, I'm sure. So not much to debate on that. That Facebook had become the biggest social media platform in terms of impact, so to say, when it actually got started. And then following that, also very important event happened when the cookies were first launched. The cookies came into existence, so to say, because the advertisers could use cookies to track website behavior of website browsing habits of people, so to say. And so these were, so in a way, digital marketing, if you see, is evolving every day. It's ever challenging, ever changing. And for all of us, we have to be on our toes every day, knowing about the latest trends, because it's only going to change more, with technology advancement and with so much of usage that's going to happen in years to come. So it's for us to really be smart enough to know the latest trends, to keep ourselves updated, yeah. So like they say, knowledge is power. So we have to, keep ourselves ready for all these changes. Right. So moving on, digital marketing versus traditional marketing. We just saw what is digital marketing, right? Now, traditional marketing is about the medium that involves traditional channels like billboards and printed media, right? Now, the difference, I mean, in terms of digital marketing versus traditional marketing, as the headline goes, digital marketing is more measurable. Why? Because it is you can track the activities in terms of digital marketing. You know, for example, you can track things like, of course, we'll see all these things in details. But as an example, I like to bring to the fore that when you're doing Google Ads, for example, you can track the kind of visitors. I mean, the impressions, the reach, you know, or on your Google Ads, the number of people who, and then in an e-commerce platform, for example, you can see the number of add to carts, and then the number of purchases. So all this can be tracked, and so obviously it's more measurable, digital marketing, right? And digital marketing is also intent based. For example, if you are on Google search and if you're searching for something like, I want to buy shoes, for example, I mean the best shoes, right? Then you'll have Google Ads popping up with its ads. Now you had an intent of buying shoes and you had searched with a term, for example, you know, best shoes, right? And then you'll have Google Ads coming up of different showrooms, you know, giving its brands like Nike, Adidas, or you know, so on and so forth. So it's intent based, right? Because of all these factors, it's also ROI based. Why ROI, return on investment based, is because, see, in today's day and age, all digital marketers spend their marketing budget, in which they get the maximum return on the pennies that they spend, right? So it's all ROI based, and digital marketing is what provides this ROI, right? And also, digital marketing is customizable. Why? Because you can customize it according to your target group, according to the target audience. For example, you want to target lipsticks. Obviously, you're going to target the women segment, right? And then if you want to target something like real estate, for example, then you real estate in Bangalore, for example, then you will be targeting people, you know, within that area where your real estate is there. In for example, in Bangalore, you're going to target those kind of people who can afford that kind of a flat, or you know, wherein they have got that much of buying power, for example. So it's all customizable, right? So meaning which there is less wastage, because you're not wasting your your effort and money on something which is not meant to be targeted, right? Which in a way, traditional marketing there is a lot of wastage, because you're putting an ad, for example, in print, and it goes to the masses, right? It goes even to people who are not buying, who do not have any intent of buying your product and services, right? So that way, digital marketing has a big advantage over traditional marketing, right? Okay, now coming to digital marketing spends. In terms of medium, if you see the pie chart says, the social media spend is 29% of the entire digital marketing spend. Online video has a 28% spend. Then paid search has a 24% spend. Display banner has 16% spend, and others, you know, that is 3% spend. So this report that is given by Dentsu E4M report. Now Dentsu is of course one of the biggest agencies, media agencies, so to say. And then E4M stands for Exchange for Media, which is one of the biggest publication houses targeting the CMOs, the marketing folks, So they have come with a report wherein it says that digital marketing has grew at a rate of 15.3% to reach a figure of 15,782 crore in 2020. Okay, now, let me also tell you that this figure of 15,782 crore is actually less because this was during 2020, during COVID times, wherein business was at an all-time low, right? When pandemics struck all of us. Obviously, when there is no business, there you will have no advertisement spend. But in 2019, if you ask me, digital advertising actually was 56,490 crore according to the same report, right? So don't go by this 15,782 crore, because anyway, marketing spend as a whole, be it digital or traditional marketing, it was at an all-time low since 2020, and we are still there, right? We're still going through that. Now, according to the same report, digital media is expected to have the highest growth rate of 20% to reach a market size of 18,938 crore, while traditional media will have a growth rate of only 7.2% by the end of 2021. So that really shows the kind of growth that digital media is having at the moment. Now, as I speak, of course, television still is the number one in terms of the marketing spend, but digital media is growing at an exponential rate, and it's only getting bigger, and it has already taken over print, in terms of the advertisement spend, overall advertisement spend, so to say. So, it is an indispensable way of marketing, digital marketing, and we all have to admit that, we cannot do without digital marketing. That's for sure. So, moving on. Okay. Now, what are digital marketing goals? Of course, number one is to grow sales, right? That ultimately has to lead to revenue and profit. And then it also pertains to dialogue and participation, because digital marketing is a two-way process wherein we see that, for example, when you are, it's not a one-way traffic. You have a lot people commenting on your post, people commenting on your advertisement. For example, in Instagram, if you see, if during you have a lot of influencer marketing, right? Who endorses a product. And then you have a lot of comments from people asking, what are the USP of the product, and then in influencer marketing again coming back to the same people with their own response that this is how they felt the product was, right? So it's a two-way process. It's not a monologue that happens, especially in traditional media, and then of course, so because of that, it of course adds value. It adds value to product and services. Because of its, because of all these benefits, it of course saves cost, because like we already saw in the last slide, there is less wastage. So obviously you're not paying for something that you do not want to target, right? You are targeting only those set of people. So those set of people with that kind of intent, right? So obviously you are customizing your reach, you're customizing your advertisement only to those people that really means business to you. So obviously you're saving cost. And it also widens the horizon of the brand online, because online is something that it cuts across all boundaries, right? Unlike traditional media, for example, you can reach with your online ads to any parts of the world, right? We are today in a world wherein you can cut all boundaries, you can cut all kind of terrains. No difficult how difficult terrain would have been, physically, but digitally we are going to reach each and every person in every nook and corner of the world, right? Moving on, digital visibility. What is digital visibility? It means how visible your website is online. Now, it depends on factors like domain authority. What is domain authority? So, domain authority is basically something, it's basically a authority of your site. It's basically how strong your website is in terms of ranking in the search engine. It's more of a SEO metrics, so to say. Obviously, domain authority takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. There are a lot of things that goes behind domain authority. There are so many things that revolve around domain authority. You will have a domain authority when you do the right content, when your content is engaging, when, of course, your website also has to be, good in terms of its speed and all other factors. So domain authority is something that takes time, it takes effort, and it takes a lot of patience. And that's, of course, very important in terms of one of the factors in terms of digital visibility. And then website health. Now, website health meaning your page speed, how website, how friendly your website is to the visitors, the interface. There should not be any broken links, so all the pages, the flow of the pages, how helpful your website is in terms of giving the right content and feel to people coming onto your website, right? So SEO is also very important. Now SEO is something that is organic, and search engine optimization is something that involves so many things. You've got on-page SEO, you've got off-page SEO, which will, of course, we'll be discussing more in depth. Now, this is something that is very important, that involves the content. It involves using the right keywords. It involves using the right, title, and it involves things like you should not duplicate your content in a website, or the backlinks and all those things, right? Then paid ads also is very important, because it could be in the form of Facebook ads or Google ads, because we have to accept the fact that if you have a new website, then obviously you will not have that kind of a hold in the market wherein you can only do everything through SEO, because ultimately Google and Facebook also has got an algorithm wherein it will not allow you to have having the best ranking through SEO only, right? You will ultimately have to pay to get some kind of good ranking, right? And quite obviously so, because they also need to make some money, right? But again, the right kind of ads wherein you're targeting the right kind of people with the right kind of strategy. That is what a company like Google respects, and therefore we also have got things like quality score, right? And now as you go further, we will talk about quality score, because it's not that people now newbies think that okay, I'll pay and get the best ranking. It doesn't happen like that. There is something called a quality score that depends on the kind of keywords that you're using, relevant keywords I'm talking about. It depends on your website speed, the landing page speed, so to say. It depends on so many other factors. So ultimately, it's about quality. Google, Facebook, companies like Google and Facebook, they respect good quality ads. And if you do the right quality of ads, then, sky is the limit, right? Yeah, so reaching the right target group is very important, be it in terms of locations. For example, if you are if you got a local business, obviously you have to target the people locally. If you have a business in a place like, say, for example, Kalyan Nagar in Bangalore, obviously you will be selecting that kind of a target audience within that periphery of Kalyan Nagar, and you will not go beyond Kalyan Nagar or go somewhere which is quite far off from that place, because it's a local business, and obviously people from that far will not come to fetch goods from your location. Gender, it could be male or female. If it's a female oriented product, then obviously you will have to target female and not male. Affinity audience. What is affinity audience? It means it's in terms of habits, in terms of interest. For example, people who love sports, people who loves whining or dining. So those are the affinity audience in terms of habits and interest, right? In market audience is somebody who has bought some products in recent past. So that they're in the market. Those are called in market audience. So somebody might have bought a car. Somebody might have bought a house. They will fall in market audience. Say for example, somebody would have bought a Nike shoes. So they will be part of that in market audience, wherein they have bought so and so product. Remarketing audience, obviously we'll be seeing this in more details. Remarketing audience is something wherein you are targeting people who have, for example, come to your website, and then you want to catch hold of the same people who have come to your website and remarket your products and services to them again, right? Then comes generating traffic. There are different modes. One is direct. Direct means somebody who comes to your website directly. For example, somebody comes to the website that they already know, www.thetimesofIndia.com. So they type it and come directly to the website. So that is called direct, traffic. Organic traffic is something like you saw SEO. So SEO is something like organic traffic, wherein you are getting the traffic organically. Paid traffic is something like it could be a Google ad, through Google ad, Facebook ad, LinkedIn ad, Twitter ad, wherein you're paying to get the traffic. But of course, like we already discussed, it's not only about paying, but paying the right money for the right audience with the right ads, right? Engaging with your audience is so very important because you are getting the traffic. You need to engage with the audience, right? Otherwise, your audience is not going to come back to your platform. So, engaging with your audience is so very important. And how we do that? We do it with through engaging content, because content is like we all know, content is the king, right? I'll come back to a website only if I find it interesting, only if I find the content interesting, only if it's if it's of some value to me, right? Customer testimonial is also very important. If I find a good review, given by a customer, and if on the same website, so obviously it gives a lot of credibility to the product, to the website, to the product that it endorses, right? So customer testimonial is also very important. Hashtag is very important. You create a hashtag. You promote the hashtags, and you make it go viral, and people use that same hashtag and make it popular, and that is also one way of engaging with the audience. Content should be shareable, because see, anything that is shareable, it spreads, right? You cannot have the content that you will be consuming yourself. If the same content, if you can share with somebody, with others, be it your friends, be it somebody else, then of course it goes viral, right? So content has to be shareable. It could be in the form of a post, Facebook post, or it could be in the form of any other content that should be shareable. Striking images, yes, image forms a very important part, because see, ultimately what you visually represent in terms of a good image is it's always good to the eyes. It always appealing, right? Something that is appealing is so very important. And also, it's very important that when you're making creative, you should not have too many text, because anyway you are the whole market is flooded with so many creative, so many images. But on top of that, so obviously I don't have much time. I as a consumer do not have much time to stick to one form of creative for that long. So your your information should be in terms of text within the creative, within the image should be striking, should not be too much, it should not go overboard. It should be concise, it should be something very appealing. There should be some kind of a USP that really holds me to that information that you are sharing, right? Videos, okay, videos have become very, have become very important in our form of engagement with the audience now, because people now love videos, and in fact, Facebook had done a recent research wherein they're saying that people who use, advertisers who use videos in the Facebook ads get a maximum return. It has come from their own report research, right? So videos are something very important. Offers and contests. Any good offer that you give me, especially in a place like India, even otherwise outside India also, that really lures me, right? That's the normal human tendency. If you're giving offers, that really pulls me to your website in terms with me being your audience, right? Contest is also important. In fact, contest is often something that gives me pride in the fact that I have won something. I've earned it. It's not something that I just got as a freebie, but I've earned it. So obviously, contest is also something that is very engaging, because it's kind of a feel good factor wherein I am feeling that okay, I have earned it on my own rights, and I am the rightful holder of this product, so to say. Poll is another very good way of engaging with your audience, and people who fill the poll means they're really interested in your content, right? That is also very important. Poll, you are engaging the people at a level wherein they themselves have offered to give some kind of suggestion or some kind of feedback on their own. Q&A sessions are also very important. It's if somebody is asking you a question on your website, means that he is really serious about your content or your product, services, whatever, right? So Q&A sessions are very important, and also very important to answer those questions at the same time, right? Sensible answers to the questions. If people are throwing me questions, but I am not answering them, meaning, I am not taking my audience seriously. So Q&A sessions with the right answers to the right questions are very important. Okay, influencer marketing. This is the trend, so to say. In Instagram, as we can see, there are so many influencer marketers who endorse this product, talk about the product. They talk about, they give demo as to how the product is, because they have used them on their own, So that is also one way of engaging with the audience, because influencer marketers are somebody who are who can engage the audience at a level wherein they are expert in that field, in the use of the product, right? So it's kind of a live interaction that happens with the people, wherein people ask about the product, and they get a feedback from somebody who has actually used those products, right? So this is the way you engage the audience. Very important to get the traffic, but also more important to engage the audience so that the audience sticks to your website and comes back and keeps on coming back, right? Okay. Now, converting traffic to leads. Ultimately, you're getting the traffic and you're engaging with the audience. That's good, but ultimately, you need leads, right? You need business at the end of the day through these leads. So, how you get convert this traffic into leads? Newsletter signups is a very important is a very important way of getting leads, throwing the right content in terms of newsletters to all your audience with the right content in the form of a newsletter is very important. Then call to action. So call to action meaning, for example, you use an idiom. You send an idiom. You send a mail to an idiom to people, to your audience, and then there in the body of the mail you give a very important information in terms of content, and then there is a call to action button which says click here to learn more. So when somebody clicks, it actually takes them to the landing page of that main of the entire content. So that way what happens is that you are engaging the people at a higher level, so call to action button, or in other words, call to action is very important while converting your traffic into leads. Lead magnets is something wherein you are giving freebies or some kind of hook, wherein to get their contacts. Okay, so it's kind of a free item or services that is given away for gathering contacts, so to say. Things like trial subscriptions, samples, white paper downloads, or you can give free consultation also. But all this can be given only if somebody gives their contact numbers in terms of their phone numbers and email ID, right? So that's a lead magnet, wherein it's a give and take. Okay, you give this, I give you this, all for free. But okay, but at what price? Your contact, so to say, right? Remarketing, like I already said, remarketing will of course discuss at deeper level, wherein I am getting back this. I'm targeting the people who actually come to my platform, so to say, and so remarketing is also very important, wherein I am getting the right leads. Webinars are also very good way of taking the leads because see, webinar is something which is content driven, right? People come to my webinar. Why? Because will come to my webinar. Why? Because of the right content. Because otherwise, no person will come to a webinar and sit there for the webinar for 1 hour. Why should they, right? Because one is that you're asking them to come to a webinar, and then you're asking them to sit there for 1 hour. So they will come only if they're really interested. So people who are interested in webinar, are definitely interested in the kind of content that you are going to talk about in the webinar. And in the process, you get them as leads in terms of their contact number or their phone number also maybe, because while registering for the webinar, obviously they have to give their give their mail IDs to register, right? Yeah. Special promotions are also important. You are basically giving some special promotions, and then but in return they also have to give away their personal information, yeah. So engineering as marketing is actually a term wherein you are giving free products as a hook. It's a kind of a lead magnet only, like you see. But then here we are talking only about free products, wherein you are saying that okay, this is what is totally free for you. You can use it, but in return, this is what you have to give me in terms of your contact details, whatever, and then you again follow up with the same person who is ultimately your lead, basically. So somebody who would be interested in a free product would definitely want to buy the actual product, right? So that of course becomes a lead. Correct? Converting leads into sales. How do you, now you got the leads, now you have to convert them to sales. How do you do that? You offer an incentive, because to get them buying your product, you have to give them that extra incentive wherein they're interested in buying your product, right? And then develop a great FAQ page on your website, because a person who is interested in your product will obviously have a lot of queries that you have to address. And if a person has queries to your product, it means he's really interested. It's a good sign that if somebody is asking about a product. If somebody is not at all asking anything about a product, means he's not at all interested. Somebody who is really asking about your product means that he's really interested in knowing more about your product, and ultimately chances of you converting him into sales, into a sale, is on the higher side, right? Then you also need to set a time limit, because what happens is that you need to have the, I mean, you cannot have a time limit that goes indefinite, right? Time limit and follow-up are so important, because everybody works with a time frame, right? I mean, I get a lead, then I have to accordingly follow up within that time frame, because otherwise that person who was a hot or a warm lead for me, will become cold if I do not follow up with him at the right time, correct? Very important to have your email marketing strategy also, because through email marketing you are getting back to the same leads and telling them that, you know, this is how you're interested in our product, and we would like to know more about you, and we also like to help you, you know, and then of course ultimately you want to basically convert that lead into sale with the right kind of informations through your email marketing. Very important to ask your leads questions also, because there might be a few things that he still has in his mind when, you know, so doubts creeping in. So it's our responsibility to clear those doubts. And a confident company, a confident salesperson, a confident marketing guy will always be comfortable with questions that is thrown at them, right? Finally, measure and analysis. See, first we have to set a goal. Now that goal could be, so what is my goal? My goal could be a sale. My goal could be getting a lead, or my goal could be I want, say, for example, more calls coming to my business, or my goal could be getting more registrations on my website. So I first need to set my goal, right? Then accordingly I need to set my time frame also, because like we discussed, it cannot go on an indefinite pattern, right? That setting a time frame is so very important for the right measurement and analysis, correct? And then we have to determine the success factors. We have to give points as to, you know, okay, if I get this is the kind of success that I'm having, or if I'm not getting this, then this is the failure that I'm having. So I have to determine my own success factors by putting my own benchmark there, right? And I have to also get the specific details, and accordingly create the measurement template. So basically, you know, it's for me to measure, to know as to what I want to measure. And finally, traffic by source, because see, there will be lot of information that will come from different sources, different channels. So I as a company, as a marketer, should know as to from where all this information is coming, whether it's coming from this platform, that platform, because I mean, it's only when I know from which source this information is coming, from which source this audience is coming, can I really do the right kind of measurement and analysis, right? And then I can see that, okay, from this platform, this is my strength in terms of my source, and so obviously I'll give more importance there. And if I see that this is my weak point, so that's where also I have to cut down on my effort there, or maybe I can also see it the other way around, wherein I need to make more efforts on those weak platforms, who is giving me low returns in terms of the information that I get. Right. So this is how it is in terms of the digital marketing. I hope you all enjoyed the session. I definitely enjoyed, like I always do, and like I always will keep on doing. And so yeah. So till then, bye for now, and we'll meet in the next session. Thank you. Thanks again.